What if we could reverse engineer longevity? I spent the last 20 years trying to do just that.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. And in this Blue Zones video, we're going to continue our journey, going this time to Loma, California, a city in the United States that has the largest number of longest living people in not only the U.S. but also the world. Some of the highest number of centenarians that exist. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the flavor profiles, their outlook, as well as some of the top foods that they use in their diet regularly to stay happy, healthy, and whole. But before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, as well as my other videos on faith, health, and beauty all year round. So, the Blue Zones live to 100. Secrets of the Blue Zones is a Netflix documentary that is now available on Netflix exclusively, and it shares the secrets of 6 places in the world that have the longest living people, the highest number of octogenarians, septuagenarians, and centenarians in the world. And in today's video, we're going to talk about Loma, California. Now, in this particular location, there's a group of people called the Seventh-day Adventists, and their source for healthy living comes from the Bible in Genesis 1:29, in which God offers the diet for the Garden of Eden. I've given you every plant that bears herb-bearing seed, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. In the late 19th century, a housewife named Ellen White latched onto these Bible passages along with a few others, and with austerity, clairvoyance, and a penchant for visions, as Dan Butner writes in Blue Zone's Kitchen, White went on to found what would become the Seventh-day Adventist Church. She also articulated a diet that helped produce the longest-lived Americans. In her Counsels on Food and Diet, White offers 400 pages of Bible-inspired dietary instruction, which she sums up as eating grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables, constituting the diet chosen for us by our Creator. And when these foods are prepared simple and in a natural manner, it's the most helpful and nourishing. And it looks like she was onto something, because in this area of the United States, there are some of the longest living people we have. Now today, some 25 million Seventh-day Adventists, conservative Methodist Christians, have taken this dietary direction seriously and largely follow White's teachings. Strict vegetarian Adventists live nearly a decade longer than their U.S. counterparts, suffering a fraction of the rate of heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. They also weigh about 20 pounds less than meat-eating counterparts. And according to the Adventist Health Studies, which have followed more than 100,000 Adventists for more than 30 years, the longest lived among them are pescatarians, vegan or vegetarian, plus 1 small portion of fish daily. In other words, they eat a Blue Zones diet. Not familiar with the Blue Zones, Dan Butner is the author of the book, as well as the compiler of the documentary that appears on Netflix. And for decades, he has studied what are some of the secrets of the longest living people in the world. He has several books, including the Blue Zones Kitchen, the Blue Zones Kitchen American, the Blue Zones Diet, the Blue Zones Challenge, the Blue Zones to Happiness, and so many more books that he compiles the information he's gathered from these people and makes them available to anyone who's willing to learn from them. And you should be, regardless of your age. Be proactive. Why wait till something goes wrong? Take care of it now, head it off, and just be happier and healthier and feel better. So first we're going to cover the flavor profiles that this group of people has. And these are flavor pairings that are the foundation of the most popular advanced dishes. You can also use these delectable combinations to help enhance any recipe. There's oats and nuts, honey and cinnamon, fruit and nut butter, beans, corn, tomatoes, carrots, onions, garlic, and beans, and the last being onions, peppers, and herbs. So the advantage diet may not look like the most or sound like the most exotic cuisine in the world, but when you stop eating so much fat, sugar, and salt, nuanced flavors emerge from food and textures become more pronounced. So they have some Asian-inspired dishes, they have some Nikoyan-inspired dishes, they even have some Greek-inspired dishes. So it's great to see that the U.S. has a group of people who belong to the Blue Zones diet. So on this journey, I'm going to talk to you about the notes that I took, noticing the tenets that they adhere to. Now the main one you probably can guess is faith. Faith is the number one thing that is important in their life, believing in a higher power, and the tenets that come with that. Also, they tend to stay active in Loma Linda. They play a lot of sports, including badminton, squash, tennis. They go hiking. They engage in activities that help to raise the heart rate and improve their cardiovascular condition. They also are very, very adamant about volunteering for any cause that they feel is worth volunteering for. And that is one of the tenets that has been specific to the United States and Loma Linda that hasn't been mentioned anywhere else. Volunteering is not only beneficial to those you're helping, but it also gives you a sense of joy, accomplishment, and helps to keep you active. And one big tenet that goes with the faith that they adhere to is honoring the Sabbath day. Every week they gather to praise and worship, to sing, to fellowship, and after Sabbath to eat and fellowship while they dine on the delicious dishes and foods that they've created using fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, and legumes or beans. So the picture you're looking at now mentions Sabbath potlucks, as I was talking about, and I'll read it for you. It says, Adventists celebrate a 24-hour Sabbath from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, a time for attending church, spending time with family and friends, engaging in charitable works, and communing with nature. One of the foundational traditions is the Sabbath potluck, where congregants bring a vegetarian dish to share with other church members in a community meal. Some of the most popular dishes seen at every church picnic, fellowship dinner, and church potluck are haystacks and nut loaves. So haystacks actually look pretty delicious. And I'll tell you quickly what it's composed of before we get to the items that are major stay in their diet. It's also known as Adventist taco salad. You're layering on top of tortilla chips, low sodium preferably, shredded romaine lettuce, or I guess you can use any type of lettuce, avocado, Roma tomato, corn kernels, black beans, salsa, and then you can top that with green onions, cilantro, cashew cream drizzle, and meatless crumbles if you want something that's meaty. I'm looking at this in the Blue Zones kitchen, which, by the way, I finally bought this week, so now I own it. And it looks absolutely delicious. And they have nut loaves that they also bring. And the nut loaves, the main one here is called walnut meatloaf, which I will be making for Thanksgiving this year. It consists of whole wheat breadcrumbs. I'll be replacing that with gluten-free crumbs. Another cup of seasoned breadcrumbs, walnuts, oats, onions, celery hearts, ketchup, vegetable oil, poultry seasoning, garlic powder, and some type of nut milk. And they recommend cooking at 375 degrees. I'm probably going to put it in a dehydrator so that it remains raw. And I look forward to trying this. I'll let you know what happens in the next video. And one big recipe that I've made out of this book from the Loma Linda section is the granola every day, every way. The basic granola is absolutely delicious. I've made it with pecans, macadamia nuts, and cashews raw versions of the nuts. And then the second batch I added walnuts, pistachios, and almonds also raw. It's really simple and easy to make. They bake it at 300 degrees for 30 minutes. I put it in the dehydrator for 6 hours so that it remains raw, and it's absolutely delicious. They've got some variations on it: mexicana, chai spice, power granola. You can also use this for granola parfait. And last but not least is an ice cream topping. I actually put it on my yogurt this morning. It was absolutely delicious. So, top longevity ingredients from the Loma 7th Day Adventist diet plan. More than 50% of the Adventist diet comes from fruits and vegetables, according to the Adventist Health Study 2, one of the few large health studies to focus on different ethnicities and how they eat. Now, the remainder of their diet mostly comes from legumes, soy, and grains. Adventists were decades ahead of the rest of the United States in experimenting with and using ethnic and international ingredients and flavors in their cooking. So, reading directly from the Blue Zone's kitchen, I'm going to share with you their top 10 foods that you can incorporate it into your diet plan and reap the benefits of healthier eating and healthier living and making healthier choices. First, we've got soy milk, not the sweet and flavored kind you get in the store. It's used as an alternative to dairy. You can make your own soy milk with soybeans, or you can just buy a brand that's healthier without all the additives. High in protein and low in fat, soy milk contains phytoestrogens which may protect against some types of cancer. The best type of soy is fermented soy, so if you can find a fermented soy milk, even better. The second top longevity ingredient from Loma is Weetabix. This is a whole grain cereal mostly sold in England. Adding whole grains to your diet promotes skin and bone health and keeps you regular, among other benefits. I've seen Weetabix not only in England, but also you can find it in the international area of your grocery store. You can crumble them up and eat them with soy milk and add a sweetener, or you can use it and eat it like it is with water, although it will make you full and expand your tummy. But there are various ways you can use Weetabix. Check it out online. The next top longevity ingredient from Loma Linda, believe it or not, are cornflakes. Now, cornflakes are a staple of the Adventist breakfast and are rich in vitamins and minerals like folate and thiamine. And cornflakes have been an American staple for generations, for well over 100 years. The most famous brand is Kellogg's cornflakes, but you can find healthier versions by organic brands that don't have sugar still, but also are made with organic, non-GMO corn, which is, I would recommend, is the best choice. The fourth top longevity ingredient from Loma is brewer's yeast. Now, brewer's yeast contains chromium, which may help control blood sugar levels and improve glucose tolerance. It also has immune boosting properties. I've only tried nutritional yeast. I haven't tried brewer's yeast, but I will now, and I'll get back and let you know how that works for me, even making a video if it really works and goes really well. The next ingredient are nuts, as well as nut butters. Now, they're key to the Adventist diet. One study found that those who ate a handful of nuts at least 5 times a week live 2 to 3 times longer than those who don't eat any nuts at all. Now, in the other blue zone, eat 2 handfuls of nuts a day. Sixth top longevity ingredient from Loma Linda is oatmeal. Oatmeal is a staple for Adventists as well as for a lot of Americans. Slow cooked, it provides a balanced portion of fats, complex carbs, and plant protein, along with good doses of iron and B vitamins. I eat oatmeal raw. I grind it in a blender to make oatmeal, and then once I do it twice, I take those oats, I add banana, I add agave, cinnamon, sometimes nutmeg, and berries, and then I'll place it on top of the toaster oven, and while it's working for someone else's breakfast, I heat it a little bit and I eat it. You can also get still cut oats, which if you cook, those are the best tasting oats. As always, I recommend getting a non-GMO version gluten-free, and or organic. The next top longevity ingredient for Loma Linda is avocados. Avocado, you know how much I love avocados. They're high in potassium and low in salt. They also may help reduce blood pressure and the risk of stroke. Ounce for ounce, they contain 30% more potassium than a banana. Now imagine that. Now I personally love adding avocado to salads. I eat it with sprouts. You can even add avocado and banana and some nut milk and make a smoothie. And I also like having avocado topped with sprouts and some other ingredients as a snack or even as part of a meal. You can never have too much avocado. It's actually safe to eat 2 avocados a day. Not only is it healthier type of fat, but also helps to make you feel full. If you eat it later in the evening, you'll be full longer and you won't go to bed hungry. The next top longevity ingredient for Loma Linda is Vegemite. Now, Vegemite is an Australian spread made from brewer's yeast, which we heard about earlier, salt, and vegetable extract. It's perfect for topping whole wheat toast and an excellent source of vitamins that support brain health. You probably can also put it on other types of bread, including vegan breads. I'm going to try some Vegemite. You can find it again in your international section of your store. Check the ingredients to see if they're safe for you or have things that you shouldn't eat. I'm not familiar with Vegemite. If you are, let us know in the comments below. And the second to last top longevity ingredient for Loma Linda are beans. Like in all blue zones, they are the #1 staple. For the vegetarian advantage, beans, lentils, and peas represent an important daily protein source. You can't go wrong with any of these. I eat beans every day, lentils every day as well, but I prefer to sprout my lentils, and I eat them in salads as well as a snack with some seasonings. And peas, I eat frozen ones that have been thawed, also sprout peas, and you can't go wrong with peas. And last but not least, top longevity ingredient for Loma Linda, spinach or other green vegetables like broccoli provides essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber to the balanced diet. Now be careful with spinach. All spinach, including organic, has a high amount of pesticides. So I would say don't eat spinach as much as you do other greens. Maybe have it a couple times a week. Buy organic still, even though you have the pesticides, because it's going to be healthier for you. So, what do you think of Loma Linda and having a city in America that also qualifies as the blue zones? I think it's fantastic. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And if this video has been helpful for you, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, as well as my other videos on faith, health, and beauty all year round. Don't forget to check out my other Blue Zones videos on Sardinia, Italy, as well as Okinawa, Japan. On our next trip, we will be visiting Nicoya, Costa Rica, and I'm telling you, they've got some fantastic dishes that I have cooked out of the Blue Zones for my family. I've also had some of the foods as a raw vegan version and heated in the dehydrator, and the flavors are amazing, so I can't wait to tell you about that. So thanks so much for joining me again. I appreciate you so much. Continue to be happy, healthy, and whole. See you next time.
These people live to 100 at the highest rates in the world. And these secrets could help every one of us to get every good year we can get out of this body of ours. That is the promise of Blue Zones.